Hi everyone, my name is Amber and this is my July TBR. I do have my June wrap up coming in a couple of days, but just to quickly tell you what happened in June, it wasn't the best month for reading, but personally I had a very good month because I got promoted at the end of May and I wasn't allowed to tell anyone until June. So that happened and my training started, and I also started training my replacement. So it was a very exciting month for me, but it did mean that I didn't do much reading. So July is going to be the month of catching up, and I've chosen quite a few what I hope is going to be fast-paced books to get through in July, because I've still got some training going on, although it is mostly finished now. I don't want to overwhelm myself in July. I don't have any actual plans for July though, other than building a patio in our back garden. Hopefully I'll be able to catch up on my reading, on my NetGalley books, and on this physical TBR. So I have a mixture of things here that I will show you in a second. So I've got some contemporary books, some fantasy, some science fiction, and a non-fiction. So I think what I'm going to do for this TBR is start off with the books that I have physically, and then we'll take a quick look at my NetGalley and Edelweiss accounts, and we'll see what I'm going to read from there. So the first book that I'm hoping to read in July is How Long Till Black Future Month by N.K. Jemisin. This one is science fiction, I think solely science fiction. I'm not sure if it also has some fantasy elements in there as well. I can't quite remember, but this is a bunch of short stories. I've only read one N.K. Jemisin book before, and that's the 5th season, and I really want to continue on with that series, but at the moment I'm not really in the mood for much fantasy. I'll do a little bit of fantasy, but yeah, I'm struggling a bit. So I'm thinking short stories, science fiction. This one sounds like it could be a good pick for July. Admittedly, I'm not the best with short stories sometimes. I find that I get into some of them and they're over way too quickly for me, and I want to know more, and then because of that the later ones are a bit boring. I know that N.K. Jemisin is an author that I enjoy, so I'm hoping this is going to be a good one. Next we have a non-fiction book, and it is part of my true crime series that I'm doing. I haven't posted a true crime video in a couple of months now, but I am working on one, and this will be research for my 3rd one. So I'm going to be reading The Murders at White House Farm, which has been turned into a TV series that I haven't seen, but I have listened to a couple of podcasts about this. Basically the event that it's covering is a true event. Basically the bodies of the Bamber family were found on the farm. The entire family was killed apart from the son, Jeremy, and there was a lot of debate over whether it was a murder-suicide, whether Jeremy had done it, and I think there's still a debate to this day, although he was convicted. So I'm going to be reading this one and then discussing the case with you all once I get around to it, once things have calmed down at work for me. Next we have A Thousand Splendid Suns. This is by the author of The Kite Runner, which I loved. I read it a few years ago. I read it initially as a graphic novel, I think back in 2011, and I very much enjoyed it. I then read the full novel and yeah, it broke me. So I've taken a very long break. I don't think I've read The Kite Runner since 2017, so it's been a long time coming, but I'm finally ready to pick up this book. I found it actually in Wales when I was on holiday at the Airbnb I had. They had like a book swap thing, but you didn't have to swap a book, which is good because I didn't actually take any books that were my own to swap because I didn't know that it was there. But at the Airbnb that I had, I managed to find this and I picked it up because it's one that I've been trying to read for ages, but the library just couldn't get it back from whoever's got it out at the moment. Someone's checked it out and hasn't returned it. I think it's about a woman called Mariam, and she has to take part in some kind of arranged marriage, and then it maybe follows her daughter or another relation. I'm fairly sure it's set in Afghanistan, and yeah, it's something that I really want to read, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one. I'm expecting to have no problems getting into it, but I'm not sure at the moment I'm quite ready for a hard-hitting book like this is probably going to be, so I'm probably going to save this one for the middle of the month. Next we have a library book that I checked out a couple of weeks ago, and that is Fox Gambit. This is one of maybe 11 library books that I have checked out. You can go and watch my library book haul if you are at all interested in the other ones that I have, and this is one of the ones I want to read first just because my friend Angela really loves this series. I think it's a series, isn't it? I don't know if it's a trilogy or a duology. I know that this one is full of battles, there's political intrigue, it's sci-fi, and that's all I know. I've heard that it's a little bit weird and it can take a while to get into, and that's okay, I'm fine with that. So it's only short as well, so if it's too weird for me, it's not going to be a huge like time sink, but I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. Next we have a buddy read. I'm buddy reading this with a bunch of people. I think Stephanie is taking part, Kayla maybe, and Lana perhaps? I can't actually remember. We have so many buddy reads going on, I can't keep track. I'm going to be reading Malice by John Gwynne. This one is a chunky fantasy, so I'm glad we're doing a buddy read in the second half of the month. I think I'm probably going to have to split it up into perhaps 50-page chunks and then read it over the course of a couple of weeks because I haven't really been in the mood for a lot of fantasy lately, and I don't know what's happened to me. I've been really into kind of more literary fiction or contemporary fiction with some thrillers and sci-fi thrown in there, but to be honest I haven't been reading many thrillers lately either, so I don't know if I'm picking up the wrong genres. But the thing is, I'm not really in the mood to pick up massive chunky books, even though there are quite a few fantasy books on my TBR that I would like to be reading. So yeah, I don't really know what's happening, but I do want to read Malice. I've got no idea what this is about, but apparently it's a fantastic series. There are 4 books in this series. I know that John Gwynne has released a new series recently. I don't know if it's related to this one, but if it is, that's quite cool. I don't really want to read the back because I don't really want to know too much about it. Next, we have a reread of a book that I read years ago, probably in 2016? No, it would have been before then, probably 2014. And it's a sci-fi book, and that is Feed by Myra Grant. This is the first book in her Newsflesh series, I think it's called, and it's about zombies. The main character is a reporter, and she's been reporting the goings-on during the zombie apocalypse. The back says, the year was 2014. We had cured cancer, we had beaten the common cold, but in doing so we created something new, something terrible that could not be stopped. The infection spread, virus blocks take over bodies and minds with one unstoppable command: feed. 20 years after the rising, bloggers are on the trail of the biggest story of their lives, the dark conspiracy behind the infected. I remember enjoying this one when I first read it. I gave it 3 stars, I think, at the time, but now I think I'm more in the mood for Myra Grant's writing. I've read Into the Drowning Deep, and I'm thinking this is probably going to be a similar feel to that, and I really enjoyed Into the Drowning Deep. It was super creepy, and yeah, it creeped me out. Zombies don't really have the same effect on me as the deep ocean because I don't think zombies are real, but I am hoping I'm going to enjoy this one. I'm going into it with an open mind, and I think I'm probably going to rate it more than 3 stars this time around, and then if I do, I have the other 2 books in the trilogy as well. There is a 4th book, but I don't know how it relates to this trilogy, if it's like a standard series now or if it's kind of a spin-off 4th book. I'm not sure, but I will let you know once I find out. And then I have another library book that I need to read because I need to return it soon, and so this is probably going to be one of the first books that I read in July, and that is The First Woman. This one is set in Uganda, and it's about a young woman who's growing up, and I think she's kind of fighting the patriarchy, or as much as she can, in her situation. It says here that it's a dazzling feminist coming-of-age tale. The main character grows up in a small Ugandan village surrounded by powerful women. She is inquisitive, headstrong, and determined. Up until now, she has been perfectly content with her life, but as soon as she enters her teenage years, she begins to feel the absence of the mother she has never known. So I think it is going to be a story about the relationships between these women in this village and how they each play a part in the village, and also probably in society as well. I've not read a book that I can remember set in Uganda, so I'm very interested in this one because of that. It also says on the front cover that it's humorous and tender, which I wasn't expecting from this one, to be honest, given what other people had said about it, but if it is quite a funny book as well, that'll be a plus. Okay, so those are my physical books that I'm hoping to read. I do have a few more, but I don't want to overly, you know, overcommit myself because I do have some stuff going on in July with work. So what I'm going to do now is have a quick look at my Kindle, at my NetGalley books and my EW books, and we'll see which ones I might be able to fit in, because I do have some in mind. I also have a free trial of Kindle Unlimited. I got 3 months for free. I'm going to have to remember to cancel it because I definitely don't want to keep it because I don't need more books. But I did download a couple that I'm hoping to read this month. So the first one is The Vegetarian. This one is a book club book with people from work. I started a book club with my colleagues, and we've been reading books together for over a year now, with a bit of a gap in the middle of the pandemic, but I'm very much enjoying the book club, and we're reading The Vegetarian next. I think this is a short one. It's set in South Korea, and it's about a woman who goes vegetarian, and no one really understands that life choice of hers, and I don't know if it gets a little bit maybe fantastical towards the end. I've heard things about trees, I don't know, but it's something that I'm very much interested in. I also, don't laugh, downloaded Ice Planet Barbarians, the first one, because people were talking about it in my booktube group chat that I've got going on WhatsApp, and I think Justine read it first and then everyone kind of followed suit, and I don't know, it was free on Kindle Unlimited and I just thought I would do it because the timing was right. I don't know, so I might check that one out and recap it for recaptains if there's much to recap, I don't know. I also got the Snowdonia Killings. I'm not sure about this one. It's a crime thriller. I got it because it's called the Snowdonia Killings, and I went to Snowdonia a couple of weeks ago. And then I also got the Stillwater Girls, which I think is a thriller about girls who were abducted, or yeah, something like that. I have a bunch more books as well from Kindle Unlimited, but those are the main ones that I might check out in July. As far as my NetGalley and EW books go, the main one that I want to read is The Heart Principle. This is the 3rd book by Helen Huang, and it's about main characters who I think we've met in previous books in the trilogy, and it's an adult romance contemporary sort of thing, and I really enjoy her books. I've loved both of the ones that I've read by her so far, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. Again, this one might be one of the first ones that I read in July because I think I'm going to love it. I also have Under the Whispering Door. This one is by TJ Klune, and I don't know what it's about really. I did read the synopsis ages ago, but I can't really remember. And then I also have White Smoke, which is by Tiffany D. Jackson. I want to do a project with her books where I read all of them in a reading vlog and then decide which one is best, like I have done with various other authors. You can check out those videos up above if you want to. So I might hold off on reading this one until I can get her other two or three books that I don't own just yet, just so I have them all at once and then I can, you know, really focus. But I'm convinced I'm going to love this one. Her books are apparently very hard hitting. I know that Jess from Jess Owens, can't remember her YouTube channel name if it is different, read Monday's Not Coming recently and loved it, so I think I'm going to enjoy her books. I have a middle grade called The Wolf's Curse. Don't know what it's about, but I love the cover. I have The Last Watch, which has already come out, and it's a sci-fi about saving the universe or end of the world or something like that, and it does sound like something I would love, but again, I'm not really in the mood for like chunky, meaty world building at the moment. I think that's my problem. I don't know, I might give it a go if I'm in the mood, because I really need to get some of my NetGalley books. So looking through, I think those are the main ones I want to read. I haven't really requested much for the second half of the year, so that's good. I do have The Cursed Village. Is that? I can't remember which book that is. Maybe it's a horror. But anyway, those are all the books that I'm hoping to read in July, or at least I want to get to a selection of them anyway. The main priorities, I suppose, would be with these ones, because two are library books, one's for an actual project that I'm doing and one is for a buddy read. So I don't want to let people down, because I've been letting people down with my buddy reading lately just because I've been so busy, like I keep telling you. There are also some Kelly Armstrong books that I need to catch up with and read, but I think I'm probably going to wait until August for those. So that is my July TBR. Let me know if you've read any of these books, which ones you think I should prioritize. Let me know what you're planning on reading in July. Are you being overly ambitious, or are you taking it slowly for summer? Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry if it looks a little bit different to my usual ones. I had to get a new camera because I broke mine while climbing Mount Snowdon. So I don't know if you've noticed, but it is different to my other camera. It's a lot less dusty and wet, at least. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll speak to you all in the next video. Bye!